Well, my plan for the day was to come up here to bear camp and seed this grass and mow the lawn and do this video and kind of do some cleaning up stuff. And I wanted to get this grass seeded before the rains came in this afternoon, but it is 10:30 and the rain's already hit. As you can see, I just barely got the grass seeded in time. That's all I got done. I was going to give you a walkthrough of this new area out here, but I'm obviously not going to be able to do that because of this rain. You can probably hear it on the roof too. So I'll do it from in here. But so first of all, if you've been following this, there's several things we're working on here. Number one is we opened up this new area to have parking and maneuver trailers and four-wheelers around better. And I'm planning to put a building up there. But as I was thinking about putting the building in there this year, a lot of people say when you think about putting up a building, put one bigger than you think you're going to need. And so I kind of pulled back on that, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to wait a year. I hate debt, and I want to do this with what I can afford. And so I'm thinking about a little bit bigger building, maybe like a 24 by 36 or something like that. And the primary thing for that is to be able to store bait in, to get it out of the garage here on the lodge. And the building on the lodge here, when you have barrels of bait in there, you got chipmunks and mice and squirrels trying to get in and out and stuff like that. And poor 14-year-old Sadie last year was sitting on the side of her bed when a mouse ran right across her, and I'm like, okay, I gotta do something about this. She was freaked out. You can't blame her. This new area up here that I'm seeding with grass, I'm gonna wait until next year to consider putting up a building. And I'm trying to decide, you know, they have these tubular steel buildings, they got steel buildings, they've got pole buildings. Do I need a concrete floor? I'm sure that people watching this have experience with that. I want to hear your input. So leave a comment below if you have experience with putting up a building and, you know, the size of it and stuff like that. I'm primarily just going to use it for barrels of bait and buckets, tree stands and things like that. And then also, you know, in the winter we'll store ATVs and stuff like that in there. So I want to hear your input as I decide what building to put up and, you know, concrete floor and stuff like that. There's a lot of issues to that. Well, the second thing is, as you knew, if you've watched this, you saw before that where we skinned the bears, it was a thing between two trees, and one of those trees broke off during the winter and fell down. So I had to start over on that, and I actually built this, I like to call it a bear gallows. And I built it with 6x6 lumber that was sawed at a local sawmill. It's rough cut 6x6 lumber. I'm trying to decide how to make it a little more mobile. I might just put some handles on it. It's like 4 guys could pick it up and carry it pretty easy. Maybe wheels on the bottom or something like that. I don't know. But not quite done with it yet. But I lifted a 350-pound outboard motor, 50-horse Honda on it already when I was changing it from one boat to another. So I know it'll hold 350 pounds with no problem at all. We've got some 400 or 500 pound bears around here, so I got a little more, I think, reinforcement to do on it. So that's it about the gallows now. I was talking also about the ceiling, and as you can see, we have finished the ceiling pretty much here in the lodge area, and I also used rough cut lumber from a local sawmill. And it's kind of cool that some of this lumber was actually cut from properties that we bear hunt, and I thought that was kind of neat. It's really nice to involve local people, local businesses, and local trees, I guess you could say. So I also am putting in a second driveway so people can loop through, and we'll be able to park the hunters' trucks out there in that big area out there instead of I'm basically renting a place from the neighbor across the road who had an open field. That's where we would park the guys, and now I can park them right here on my own property. And then rather than jockeying trailers and four-wheelers around, it just got to be a congested mess in here. So I put a second approach from the road up there, and they're actually rebuilding this scenic highway that we're on here right now. They're redoing that, resurfacing and making the ditches wider. And when they had to buy a strip of my property along the road, and I negotiated with them to put in a second driveway when I negotiated the price of what they're going to pay me for the trees that they're cutting and for the property that they're buying as the right of way for the road. So that's going to be really nice to loop through. So that property up there will be great, and I'm gonna put a building up next year, but for right now, I do wanna still get this bait and stuff out of there, so I'm gonna buy a shipping container, and we'll just put the bait in the shipping container for now, and all the empty buckets and stuff like Gold Rush and the sprays and stuff like that. We've got bears trying to break in around here and stuff like that. It'll be nice to be able to get that completely locked up and sealed and away from all of the squirrels and mice and stuff like that. Now, regarding the number of clients you're going to see this year, that's a really interesting thing. As you know, I'm really backed up with people that want to hunt with me and have sent deposits, and I'm trying to accommodate as many people as possible. But the way the draw system is in Minnesota, it's really difficult to know how many people you're going to get. My ideal number for the facilities that I have and the people that I have, and to really provide a high quality hunt, you know, my ideal number is about 6, maybe 7 tops. I accepted deposits from 7 people the first week and 7 people the second week this year, in hopes that if maybe 1 or 2 people didn't draw, we'd still be okay. Well, in the first week, all 7 drew, and in the second week, only 2 of the 7 drew. So now I'm trying to fill up the second week with people that have tags, and also some of the guys are going to try to get surplus tags. So like we have a group of 3, they already took vacation for this year and they didn't draw. So we're going to try to get them a tag, and so we can still get them in. But I do have a couple of openings for zone. If you got zone 27, you got a tag, and you want to hunt, I can probably accommodate you this year. And I'd like to fill up that second week. So thank you for joining me on this, and there'll be more updates coming as this develops. When this rain quits, I got to cut the grass. There's a lot to do around here over the next few weeks. I got to clear trails. I drive down every trail that goes to all the baits to make sure there aren't trees that fall across in the winter and things like that. I got to check on bait sites and everything like that. And I got to make more barrels, more signs, because I'm going to have more baits. I got 6 semi-guided hunters coming in too. There's a lot to do. Thanks for being a part of this channel, and do give me some input on what you like and dislike about what I'm doing here. If you got any ideas, I'd love to hear them. See you in the next video.